Guys, how we are talking all about editing today, and this is a fun one because I'm actually going to walk through and edit from scratch. We're going to be editing this picture right here, and I'm going to take you through my entire process start to finish so you can see my thought process, what I think about when I'm editing, how I balance the white balance, the exposure, using the tone curve. We're gonna do all that in Lightroom. And it's okay if you don't know anything about Lightroom or you don't know how to edit at all. This is a beginner tutorial, so you'll learn everything from scratch. Let's dive into the computer and I'll show you right now. Okay, so this is the picture that I wanted to go over. And just for reference, I'm gonna show you a quick before and after. So let's hide that. This is the one I posted, and this is straight out of camera. So I'm going to show you what my process, and you can use, you can use this process, you can use your own process, you can take pieces of this process and make it your own. This is really just for you to get an idea of my process for editing pictures. So again, that's before, or that's after, and that's before. So the first thing that I always do is I compose the image how I want it to look on Instagram. Now Instagram allows you to do square, which is 1 by 1, or you could do 4 by 5. So in order to, I guess I should back up real quick. In order to get to that area, I'm in the develop panel right now. So you have your library where you can import pictures. You can organize them in folders and collections over here. And I went to develop on the image that I liked. So I come up here to this crop box. And I like doing 4 by 5 because it lets me experiment more with portraiture and I can play around with backgrounds a little bit more. And I'm going to move this down to about right there just to kind of, fit me centered a little bit. And I'm going to straighten it. And you just press this auto button on the right and it'll straighten the image for you. Now, generally, I might post something where this third line comes across my face right here, and I might center it a little bit more, kind of like that, and compose it that way. That way, following the rule of thirds for composition. But for this image, I'm going to do a little different. I really like having a little bit of that building in the background. So I'm gonna keep that as I had it, which is something I can't remember. It was like right. Let me see. I think it was like right here, somewhere around there. It was like right there-ish. It's probably a little off, but let me see. Yeah, it's a little bit off, but that's okay. So then the next thing I do is I will do my white balance. Now you can auto white balance by coming in here and clicking. You can click this little dropper tool and you find wherever there's a neutral in your image. So a gray or something that's close to a gray. And if you click that, it'll auto white balance it to be, for that gray to be true gray, and it'll change the white balance of the rest of the photo. To me, this is a little bit too warm. I'm gonna find a happy medium. So it came out at 5900 is straight out of camera, and this is measured in Kelvin, by the way. That's how temperature on images are measured. And it auto white balanced to 6600. So I'm just gonna do like 61. I think that's pretty good, somewhere in between. Maybe take this up one. The tint, so the tint, it adjusts your greens and magentas, and your temperature adjusts your blues and your yellows. So this is one way of initializing the color grade to go ahead and get started. So you can see that I raise the tint or lower the tint, greens and yellows. Keep it at about 7, I think. And to the right makes it cooler, or to the left, sorry, and to the right makes it warmer. So 6100 I think is a pretty good happy medium. Now this next panel is just balancing the light. So balancing the exposure of the image, the contrast, the highlights, the shadows. We're pretty well exposed from the shot already. So I had my light set. So I had my camera settings at 2500 shutter speed, 1.4 aperture to get that nice blurry background. And I'm shooting on a 50mm, so I can get that wide enough angle to get a lot of those street buildings in the background. And I kept it at ISO 100 because it's pretty bright out that day. I didn't want any noise. I wanted it to be as sharp as possible. So what I like to do on this spot is a technique called reverse editing. And what this does is I'm going to bring as much of the sky back as I can. So I just drop the highlights all the way down because I want to bring that sky back in. If there's any clouds or anything, it would look really cool. And then I raise my shadows to lift the shadows up that are, and you can see on this histogram, if you look in the top right in this little panel, what's happening, right? So all the way to the right, we have the blacks. And then we have the shadows, one to the right. And then here we have the exposure, which is also known as the midtones. And then we have the highlights. And then finally we have the whites. So I just brought the highlights all the way down. I brought the shadows up some. I'm gonna bring the whites down just a little bit. And I'm gonna bring the blacks up some. So what this does, it's called reverse editing. It allows you to adjust your midtones quite a bit more, this exposure part, without clipping anything. And by clipping, I mean your whites go beyond rescue and your blacks go beyond rescue. So bringing your highlights down, bringing your shadows up, bringing your whites down, bringing your blacks up allows you much more flexibility with this exposure panel. So this is called clipping. When this triangle here gets filled with a color or white, it means that in some part of this image, your highlights or your whites have moved past rescue, so they're blown out. Or if you come all the way down, some part of this image has shadows that are not rescuable. So by lowering highlights and lowering whites and lifting shadows and lifting blacks, I have a lot more flexibility with this exposure. And I like around 70, I think is pretty good. I know we still have a little bit of clipping here. So what I can do is just bring these whites down just a little bit more until it's gone. So cool. So I also like to add a lot of contrast to my photo. I like somewhere around 40, 35, between 35 and 40 is pretty good. Just personally, I like warm, high contrasty images. That's my personal style. And then for fashion specifically, I really like adding clarity. It just makes the outfit pop. Just watch what happens to the outfit as I raise the clarity. That's a little too much for my personal taste, but maybe around 33. I don't know. I just really like how it makes the outfit pop. There's 0. Just adding, just enough to, especially for fashion. If you're in style, women's fashion, men's fashion, I just like using the clarity slider to make your outfit pop off a little bit more. Now the tone curve is my favorite part of color grading. And even just adjusting the tones. So the tone curve here is broken up into a histogram, as you can see. So we already covered sort of what the histogram covers here. We have blacks, shadows, exposure, midtones, highlights, and whites. It's the same thing over here. The tone curve works its way up from blacks, shadows, midtones, highlights, and whites. So you can add points to adjust each portion, each part of this image, right? So one thing, if you've ever taken an art class or a photography class, one thing that they teach that makes an image look quite aesthetic is called an S-curve. And so the S-curve, what this does, and I'm going to add one more point right here. You bring your whites down. As you can see, if you look at the sky, you'll see it adjusting right here. So you bring your whites down just a tad, not too much, just a little bit. Bring your highlights up, and I like to use 2 points for my highlights to bring those up. Bring your midtones up just a little bit. And you bring your shadows down some. So you're essentially making an S with this curve, and it just gives your photo a really nice aesthetic. And you bring the blacks up just a little bit, and this part right here, if you like that faded out look, give your images that antique look, that's a creative choice a lot of people like to do. You just get that by raising your blacks on this S curve. I personally like rich blacks, so I don't fade them out too much. I might lift them just slightly, and then what I like to do is bring this point in and actually crush them just a little bit. So I don't know, somewhere like right there. So as you can see, up to this point, we're actually really close. This is before, this is after, and we're actually really close to what the final image was already. This was the final image, and this is where we're at. So we're pretty darn close. The only thing left that I really want to do for this is change some of the saturation. I like very desaturated on most all colors except for red, orange, and yellow. Red, orange, and yellow are the colors that I keep in the image, unless my outfit has like blue or green in it, which if you have like blue jeans or if you have a blue dress shirt, I keep the blues. But other than that, I just drop all the saturation of all these colors because I don't want anything really. I hate a lot of greenery. I like color grading with red, orange, and yellow. I'll even probably take a little bit of the yellows out, just a tad. The orange I might bring. The orange affects the skin quite a bit. So orange, you want to keep orange. You don't want to mess with it too much because it is the main color that registers for most skin tones. So you want to adjust with ease, adjust with caution. Red, you're going to find, if you have buildings in it, it's going to be red, and you'll also find that lips are red. So if you take this red all the way down, your lips are going to be black and white in an image. So you don't want to take red too far. I might take it down just a little bit. And I think we're really darn close to what the final image was. That was the final image. That's what we got. The last thing I would do is sharpen this. So I'd lift the sharpen a little bit, and if you hold down Alt or Option on a Mac, you adjust this masking slider, it will actually only sharpen the parts of the image that's in focus. So, and the higher you come, the more it just sharpens the in focus pieces. So I probably just want to sharpen like maybe halfway like that. And that's it. That's usually what I do. And the cool thing, remove chromatic aberration. I usually check this. This is just if your lens has some chromatic aberration, which is discoloration around your subject or the edges of the picture. That's about it. I like this. I could take this further into Photoshop and like edit my skin, but honestly, don't really care too much about that. I only do a lot of those details if I'm editing like a professional portrait of somebody. But that's pretty much it. So just to recap, relatively warm image, reverse edit, drop the highlights and whites, lift the shadows and blacks, add contrast, raise your exposure. I added some clarity to make the outfit pop a little more. And I made an S curve, tone curve. And if you want to, like, something else you could do is you can come to like this tone curve breaks down by color. So if I wanted to say like add some yellow to the highlights, I could bring this down just a little bit, color grade it some. And then I could even add the complementary color of blue into the shadows. So if you raise this up, you're going to get blue in your shadows. If you move this right, you're going to get yellow in your shadows. If you bring this down, you're going to get yellow in your highlights. And if you bring it to the left, you're going to get blue in your highlights. So I like to add just a little bit of yellow to my highlights and blue to my shadows as like a cool color grade. And yeah, just it's cool, like the complementary color. It's called split toning, where you add one color to the highlights and then the complementary of that color you add to the shadows. It's really cool. It gives it like warm highlights, cool tones. So yeah, it's called split toning. I like doing split toning a lot. in a lot of my images. So here we have the before straight out of camera and the after, and the final done. That's it, guys. This was just a video that I wanted to make showing you guys how I edit. That's it. If you have any questions, shoot me a DM on Instagram.